Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Building with Whip for what is hopefully the last week of working on our village. Oh my gosh, I am so freaking excited to be saying that. We've got quite a few houses left to build in here, but down here, for example, we got that guy, that one over there, so we got two houses right there. We got number 3 right here, that house poking out in the corner back there, that is number 4, and then I believe we have 3 more up here, with being this one outline right there and then these 2 right along there. And I think today's episode we're going to really try and get everything up here finished up, as well as seeing what we can do down in that area to see what we can do on those ones. I have so many ideas in mind for what we can do to create some awesome houses in here. But last episode we were able to come through here and build up some amazing new structures inside of our village. We were able to take what we had previously created with our Sweet Berry Winery in here, which is now apparently infested with librarians, as ooh, blast protection 4. That is a good trade. What do we got over here? We got Riptide, and we've got, what's this guy? That's still the Riptide dude. What are you? You got bookshelves, not as fun. And what do we got up here? We got Riptide 1 on that final one. All right, well, there's some good trades in there. Those are some good villagers. You guys can stay in there, keep drinking your wine. As many people said, if we're using berries, that's definitely going to be a wine. But anyways, other than that, we were able to build up this distillery, which a bunch of barrel storage down here, which is just freaking awesome. I love it so much. We're gonna have so many fishermen villagers. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. Then down here we had a bit of a tasting room, and up there we have an office area. It was so fun. We did so much work in the last episode. Beyond just building up those few houses inside of this area, we actually went absolutely insane and did a giant time lapse of connecting up our entire world together. Everything you're seeing right here with this pathway stretching all the way down here stretches all the freaking way back to Papyrus, our desert city, which is so sweet being able to have everything linked up on here. And I'm thinking, now that we have those things connected, you guys were telling me down in the comments that we should have some way for this winery here to be selling its goods over in the port city. And I think that is absolutely awesome. So after we build a few houses today, I'm thinking we get out of here and go build up a wagon in transit with a bunch of wine on board to go sell that in the city. I think that'd be absolutely awesome to do. Going back to our old idea for those who are very much veterans of the series, originally when starting this world out, I envisioned every single location we have around the world, every city has some sort of main resource that they export and use around the world. So if you're trying to come up with ideas to build new things inside of your own Minecraft world, maybe take the time to figure out what a good product would be for that city. In this case, we have all the berries here. Everybody here could be a berry farmer inside of the village. I don't know why they would all do that, but we got a bunch of berry farmers here. Over in Papyrus, we have the sugarcane farmers, and then in White Glen, we have all of our regular farmers, which is all really good ideas of just ways to kind of move things around the world. Like we have a bunch of very lush farmland out there, and then we have a fishing village out by Castle that we were working on a few episodes back. And everything there is just working fan-freaking-tastic. Now, this house up here, we've got a bit of space to work with, seeing as it's way down there. So I'm almost thinking we could have the doorway just coming in right here, smooth this terrain out a little bit more so we can have some more space to work with here. And so this house doesn't come up super tall. I'm almost thinking this is going to be like a small guard shack of sorts. You guys have been telling me so much that we need to have some way for ourselves to defend the area outside of our iron golems, because let's face it, these iron golems get themselves stuck in leaves constantly. So I'm thinking we'll turn this one here into guard shack. We'll turn those just into 2 more houses, maybe get a small setup in there for a few workstations and stuff like that. We'll move our cattle farm around here, cattle and pig farm, and we'll move on from there. But I think a great way we can get this one started today is kicking it off right back into time-lapse mode and see what we can build up here. So I'll catch you all on the other side. Now, what would be a whip time-lapse without starting on the village here with chopping down a bunch more oak trees, because we're using so much freaking oak wood here. But it's almost done. These are the final days of chopping down oak trees, and I'm very excited about that one. You all might have noticed by now that I actually started throwing the music back into the background of these videos again, and I was curious what you guys thought about that. For the last 2 weeks or so, I decided to remove the music. Do you guys want the background music in these videos, or should we leave it out? I was just kind of playing with it. Not many people commented that it was gone, so let me know what you guys are thinking there. Should we bring it back? Should we keep it gone, or what should we do? I don't know with that one. But anyways, what we're doing over here on the build that I do know a little bit about is I decided to go forward with that guard shack idea that I was talking about there and bring in another stone structure here to make this look so much more fortified, instead of just having our church as the only stone structure inside of this entire area. I wanted to bring in a small little watchtower area where some guards could stand on the top, and it's just tall enough so that they can see over the wall of the village on this side. I am a little kind of disappointed with the current height of it. I almost want to take it another 2 blocks taller just to get it slightly above the gatehouse there at the front, just a bit further, but I think we'll leave that one for now. Anyways, after that, what I wanted to do with these other 2 houses that we're going to work on in today's time lapse is that I wanted to just very easily detail these ones out so they still feel like that original Minecraft house, and basically just extending it a bit further. So I'm very much keeping that same exact design that we had with that Minecraft house. Instead of it being a square, we're turning it out into a rectangle. And you'll see on that first one on the far side there that we actually brought the ledge of the roof out another block, so it's a bit wider. Then this other one, we added a chimney here to make that one a bit more unique as well. But both of them are pretty basic. I didn't really know what to do in this back area here behind everything because there's no real easy way to access it, and it's kind of dead space. So I figured we could clear it out by just filling it with a bunch of leaves. The front of our village is now starting to feel a lot more completed, and I really enjoy the look of it so far. This is really sweet to have everything here finished up. The interiors of these are not completed at all yet. You can see that we still got to build out the fireplace in the back of this one and basically detail everything out. As I was mentioning during the time lapse though, is that these are basically just recreations of the default Minecraft village houses that we have. I wanted to keep them as close to the original as possible because I felt like we need to have more of this build be an ode back to the original stuff. So up here you can see that we did bring that overhang bit out on the top of it to help this area feel a lot more enclosed, and I really like that. I'm almost thinking about bringing like a banner string right across there just to interrupt the skyline a bit further, but it already is pretty busy in here. Over here for the guard shack, I decided to leave the cattle pen out here and added a small little water trough for them to get some stuff going on back there so they can have a few more things going on in there, just a few more bits of interest. And then to stop it so they can't jump out of there, I threw that jungle leaf bush right up there because otherwise they would have been able to jump over that fence. And I wanted these cows to stay in there, and I think that's a great place for them. Then back here we got a little bit of a pathway built up so we can actually get up to the roof here. The inside of this building I haven't done too much yet. It's very basic still. It's pretty much just as is. We got a window in here, and that is basically freaking it. Then over here in the corner there's a ladder to get us up to 2 different floors, one being the top of them. That being said, one of the things I did remove out of here, and now that I'm thinking about it, we could probably add this back in and be totally fine with not needing to add that close string there. But what I removed here was the tree. We had a tree back here. We have this tree. Originally, we had a little basic default Minecraft tree right in here. And I almost like this area being open up, but I do want to have something coming over this front area. So maybe we'll do that banner of colors right in there, and I think that could work out pretty well. Then to help with this dead space that I was talking about, we can bring in a custom tree back here because I do want to get something going. I feel like this upper area here is just so bland and so boring. So what if we came in here, and we're going to definitely need some of these oak wood logs in there just so we can have some end bits. And I want to make this be a very small tree. So I think we're just going to do something like break that one out right there. And then we could do something like this guy right here, get a few branches, and we'll have like maybe 3 to 4 branches in total. And then we could have like this guy right back in here. And then let's take you, we'll go with you right over to here as well. I'm going to throw a few leaves and whatnot on this guy, but first we do have to throw in our fences here. These are some things that really don't matter a whole lot when you're thinking about the grand picture of the tree, but I like adding them in basically to help myself structure where all of the leaf blocks are going to go, and it forces you to include a few more airy spots in there because the whole block space is occupied by our fence guy right here. And so if we kind of force ourselves into leaving that as an open space, it can turn out really cool for us. So I'm going to get this thing going here. It's going to look pretty derpy. I'll let you know when I'm done. Super fWhip to the rescue! And we're kind of stuck here right now. But we're here to rescue everybody by finishing up the tree. I know the anticipation of a few seconds there of waiting for the tree was probably just ruining so many people's lives. And here's the weird derpy tree that I was able to finish up. Also, does anybody have a way to get rid of iron golems without just making them super mad and wanting to kill you? Because there are so many in here. Look at how many are up there. We have an iron golem infestation going on in our village here. And we got to figure out a way to solve that because they're causing a lot of lag here. I will say, though, For 1.14.4 coming out soon, I'm pretty excited for that one because it's resolving a lot of the pathing issues with villagers and making them a lot more efficient. So that'll be really, really good for us here. But our tree is now finished. It looks a little derpy and spiky and kind of off, I guess, but that's okay. One thing that I've actually realized recently, and I've been kind of working with a little bit more as I've been developing my own building skill and figuring out things. And for a long time, I was so nitpicky about every leaf block placed inside a tree has to be perfect. Otherwise, we need to fix it. For trees, you're going to end up building quite a few hundred trees. If you look right there, we got a custom one. We got that custom one. There's one over on the other side. There's a custom tree right there. There's one over there. There's one right out there. We already have 6 or 7 custom trees inside of this area alone. Each one of those trees probably took me about 30 minutes to build each of them. This guy right here, I slapped together in less than 5 minutes. Granted, it is a bit of a smaller tree, but anyways, the point I'm trying to get at here, if it looks like a tree, smells like a tree, probably sounds like a tree, it's a tree. A good tester of that, what I basically mean by that, is it doesn't have to be perfect. If it has all the characteristics of a tree, you're good to go. If you enjoy the look at it, it's fine. You don't need to go totally crazy overboard with making sure every single leaf and air block inside of your tree is perfect. Like, we can see some of the trunk in there. That's totally fine. Maybe this tree has some branches or leaves or things that fell off and made it not perfect. That's nature. That's life. Good life lesson for you there. Anyways, what we're going to be working on next, I think, is I want to get this house here finished up. So we'll do this house. That'll split everything perfectly in the middle because that'll be 4 houses. Then we'll have 3 more to go for the next episode. So we're going to finish up this house right over here. Probably going to do a style similar to this one because I don't want to completely dwarf this thing over there. So maybe we'll bring a second story up on there and then a single story on there. I don't know. I'll get that thing worked out here and finished up. Then that house is going to be really small. What should we do there instead of a house potentially? I don't want to dwarf the view of the church up here, so should we throw something instead of a house in here? I don't know, let me know, but I'm thinking we'll do like a few market stalls, like a market stall here and another one right here, similar to how we have that little guy right there, and bring a little bit more life down into this region, being like a secondary village center. I've decided we're going to go with like a similar to the same old classic design that we're using for this one over here. Except on this part, I'm going to be using spruce for a roof instead, but I'm really happy with this one so far. I decided to bring the structure back in a few blocks so it didn't interrupt the gatehouse too much here, so it's not blocking on both sides like this house is over there. And then I actually moved it another block over this direction to block off the path here and reworked where the field is going for all of these guys. So it's a little bit smaller in here now, but I felt like they had a lot of space and it was all just dead space. So our field of iron golems is a little bit smaller now, so hopefully they'll figure out what the heck they're doing in there soon. In here though, I've not done any work at all since building up the outside structure here, and basically what we're doing is just the typical of bringing in our white glass panes as we're going throughout this whole area. And one thing I would recommend is if you're trying to create a structure and you have the ability to use glass panes, because this extra little like half block of depth right there that you get out of the glass panes really helps to make it feel a lot more completed. And then if you're building on an angle, just go ahead and kind of bite the bullet and put in the full blocks there instead, and it will make your builds look a lot better overall. And I think it's a good way to go with it. I think it works really well. What I'm going to work on now though is getting in the roof and all that good stuff in here. And I think now that we're in here though, I kind of want to cut this window out now that I'm looking at it, and basically fill you back in here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to build up a bit of a chimney back here. So we have a little bit of stone brick left on us here, and I'm thinking we'll make a stone brick fireplace of sorts out there, and we can just kind of leave all that stuff in, and then we're actually going to break that whole chain right there. That'll be totally fine. And then here I'm thinking we go up another block, so it's not just, the reason why I'm going up another block here is so it's not just stair and then stair off to an angle. So if we get rid of that stair, it helps make it look like a separate piece in general here, instead of feeling like the exact same thing. And then we can kind of fill in both of these here and then like this. And then I'm thinking we actually bring this out another block, and then we can do bam and bam and bam, and that'll help add a little bit more life to this area. Because when you look at all the campfires going across the top, a lot of other YouTubers have been talking about this recently, where it just makes your build feel a lot more alive. And let's see if we can get this down here without killing ourselves. And then we can basically just do this little trick of throwing in the trapdoors going all the way around it, that I feel like has become the Minecraft standard for how to decorate a campfire, which I think is really funny because this is something that I've been doing for such a long time to try and hide things. So I'm glad to see that that's starting to be a little bit more recognized there. Then on the outside of this one, what we're going to be using, as I mentioned, is we're going to be using a lot of spruce. And the way that we're going to get the spruce going throughout here is basically just stairs along this entire border frame of everything like that. So I'm going to get these ones in, and I'll be back to y'all as soon as I'm finished up here. On this dark and stormy night, nobody knew what came and hit them. Something out of the shadows came and killed all of the iron golems. I don't know what did it. Nobody knows where it came from. Even the thunder and the cackles of the thunder. Nobody knows what happened. Well, that was really disappointing. You did not stay on fire. This is our current method for ethically farming our iron golems. Oh no, I hit him. I hit the iron golem. Well, this is going to be what we're doing moving forward to get rid of the iron golems here. Ah, this is great. Oh no, the sheepy. Okay, well, anyways, on that, I'll finish that up here later after the rain's gone. I have been working on finishing up the house, and it's looking pretty good. I decided down here that we needed some dog kennels. We don't really have these anywhere inside of our world at all besides our other farming village, and I figured we needed some dogs in here too, because what village is complete without some good old puppers? So we got to go around here somewhere and find some dogs to put in there. I got a bunch of bones lying around, so that shouldn't be too hard. It'll just be around finding them. I'm going to work on clearing these iron golems out, but in the meantime, what I wanted to bring you guys in for here, if we can get these things out of our hand, was I want to bring in a few more like carts and things in here that we can make look like this area is a bit more populated. So I was thinking we could have one, let's see, if we go right there and we go right here, we can make a bit of a wagon out of this. So we'll have like a 5 wide area. So we'll have a wagon occupying that bit. And he might be selling some farming goods that he brought in from a neighboring town or something like that, or a neighboring village. Then we have this area right here. And I was thinking in this spot, we have this small pond up here. That's the only water inside the village. And they probably don't want to drink out of a pond. So I'm thinking we can take a very, very small well design and just throw something right there, a little 4x4 one of using, if you take the cobblestone stairs or the stone brick stairs or whatever stairs you want actually, basically do that like that. You can fill in and create an infinite water source inside of those, and then it doesn't leak out to the side. So we're going to do that here. Isn't it great how I just go from talking about happy trees and put whatever shape you want on them to let's kill all the iron golems because they're annoying? Yeah, that's a great thing. After getting back from a great iron gathering spree, we were able to get 51 more iron. Definitely went and farmed that all up out of the caves there. And what we have over here now is we have a small well designed with a little cup you could use to scoop the water out. We got some barrels over there, and we got the start of what is going to be a wagon. This one's almost more like a stagecoach now that I've been working with it. And back here is where we start to get really interesting. The base idea is basically that we're going to bring these guys all back here, right like this goes here. And then you can take some gray banners or whatever color banner you want to use here and basically dot these along the sides. And that creates a covered cart, which is awesome. I absolutely love this design. It's so easy to do. It's really, really simple. And then you can come in here and just stack up some crates and do a bunch of stuff like that. And a few different things that you can do that can make it a little bit more interesting and usable is you can actually double stack some of these. So we can do that guy right there. And then you can basically just come back out here with the banner that you picked up and throw that banner right back on top of there. And now we got the back pretty much filled out here. There's not going to be a whole lot going on with this one. I figured we'd leave it pretty basic inside of there, just having a few things in this. And then what we can do on top of this to make it a little bit more interesting here is you can come up to the top, and since we lowered this down so that it's on the lower part of the block, and it looks a little weird with that barrel sticking out right there, and that's scaffolding. We cannot crouch on scaffolding. What I was going to say is we can come up here and add in some carpet. So it looks like this is draped over, like a canvas draped all the way over the top. And I've been playing around with the idea here of, and I want to try this with you guys. I haven't tried this one yet. It's basically bringing in some green. I thought it'd be kind of cool across the front of this one. So we can have like a green front. Then it just goes to gray throughout going all the way to the back. I feel this one's almost like very Iskall themed almost. So maybe this guy's selling slime or something like that. Anyway, so what we can have right here is just that one. I thought that'd be kind of a cool color difference that we could add in there just to make it look a little bit more different than everything else we have in here. And I like that. I think that's really sweet. That actually worked out super well. Okay, I think we are going to leave that one in here for sure, like that. And then next thing that we need to do is we still got to get those dogs. And actually, I did see a few a little while ago. I was out gathering some ink sacks so that we could build that thing. We only have 3 bones on us, though, which is kind of a problem. But I was running into them over this way somewhere. They were kind of on top of the hill over here, if I remember correctly. Which would be awesome if we're able to get some of these dogs set up. Ooh, that is really steep in the ground. Hey, look right there. And he kill the sheep. Yep, I'm just gonna take that, buddy. Let's see if you like these bones, though. We got 1 and 2 and nothing. Okay, well, maybe not that guy yet, but there's something else pretty cool over here, though. As it's going to be nighttime, I'll go ahead and kill some skeletons and tame up a few of these guys and take them back. But over here, I was lucky enough to find another witch hut. I know we talked about doing a witch hut transformation a little while ago, and this one is in a much better position. It's not landlocked at all. It's got a lot more stuff going on with it, so that could actually turn into a pretty decent witch farm. We would have to figure out what the heck we're doing with a lot of these areas over here, but that is something that we could consider doing. If you guys want to see like a giant witch farm project, let me know down in the comments below. I know we're not quite the redstone farm building type of community, but those things are pretty necessary for a survival world. So let me know what you guys are thinking about that. I'm going to farm up some skeletons. After surviving through an entire night and farming mobs, I was able to bring back 1 and 4 more dogs. Four more dogs, and 3 of them are really dark for some reason, so I don't really know what's up with that. I did not know they could be that color. I think it's because they're sitting inside the trapdoor in there, but they are all very happily sitting inside the kennel, and this guy would not go in, so he gets to sit out here next to the box for good, and the fisherman village over here keeps bumping him around. But that is going to have to do it for today's episode, everybody. I am a little bit in a frantic of trying to get everything pre-recorded and moving forward and all that good stuff, because we are moving at the end of the month, and with that, we have about 8 days in there where I'm not going to have internet, so I'm not going to be able to upload. I can still, in between packing and things, do a little bit of recording in that time. I did not know I was flying there. But for the most part, I'm going to be pretty much completely out for 8 days, which will be kind of hard to keep all that stuff backlogged and everything. So I'm trying to do a little bit shorter videos and record 3 a week here instead of 2 a week. So yeah, if anybody has name ideas for the dogs or anything like that, be sure to let me know. But for today's episode, I do have a comment question of the day ready. This one is coming in from Shaquille Oatmeal, which is a great name. They're saying, great job out of the village, man. You know what? I would love to see you build a huge magical forest to fit the whole fantasy theme you've been talking about for a while. So many of you have probably heard me mention many times that I want to build a giant fantasy forest on the other side of the mountain range. I was thinking almost more like an Ungoro crater, so kind of like bamboo forest, giant trees, dinosaurs, that type of stuff. Ungoro craters from World of Warcraft, if any of you are curious where that reference is coming from. But I've been thinking about doing something like that over there. But also the fantasy forest that you're talking about there, I have been thinking about doing a end remake of turning the entire end into a giant world tree of sorts, because right now we have unlocked all of the portals inside of our end, so we have all of the dragon kills done and out of the way, so I don't really mind building a lot in there. And I think it'd be really cool to turn it into like a lush forest and have each one of the pillars turn into its own tree with a giant world tree coming out of the center, and then each of like the world tree can have like its roots curling up around each of the end portals to the point where we can walk inside them. I don't know, that is something that would be way far down the way. But I know end biome stuff, unless it's like an Enderman farm, a lot of people are kind of like, I don't really care to watch that. So is that something you guys would be interested in seeing or not? Like, because that's something I want to do way down the road, but I don't know when we'll do that. And I'm still kind of holding out for Mojang here reworking the end again, but we'll see on that one. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching today's episode. Please hit that like button if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. And before we get out of here, I added in that banner line and I freaking love it. And I will catch you on the flip side.